For 20 years, Tamriel Rebuild have been releasing fan-made expansions to Morrowind. And mind you, this is not just some random mod. Tamriel Rebuild adds hundreds of hours of playtime, including some of the best Elder Scrolls content ever made. Their newest expansion is just around the corner, and I got to check it out early. So today, let me give you a sneak peek at the most exciting Elder Scrolls release of 2026. If you're somehow not aware, the goal of Tamriel Rebuild is to build the complete province of Morrowind. Despite the name Morrowind, the vanilla game actually includes only the island of Vardenfell, which is just one of the 6 districts of the province. So, the fans have spent decades finishing it, complete with quests, factions, NPCs, settlements, dungeons, and all that is needed to make the mod feel like a complete package. Tamriel Rebuild has a long history, but over the last decade, the production quality and speed have really ramped up. We are now getting a new Morrowind expansion every single year. And with this year's update being just around the corner, now is the perfect time to take a look at Poison Song. The Poison Song expansion is centered around House Indoril. The vanilla game lets you choose between 3 great houses, and mods have added more content to each one, but now, for the first time ever, we can join a new great house. As an Indoril, you will be able to experience 3 full quest lines. Fight back against the encroaching presence of your Hlalu neighbors, discover powerful artifacts, and help the house rise from the ashes. This video is split into a few parts and there are timestamps down below. First, I'll tell you what this update adds. Then, I'll talk about Indoril lore and playstyle so you can plan your first character. And at the end, I'll tell you how to learn more about this release. Poison Song is one of those updates that don't just add new regions, but also overhaul some of the existing ones released way back in the day. Indoril lands are also directly connected to the last few expansions, so this general area is the best TR content that you can play right now. Now, the update touches 3 specific regions. Antherin is this calm countryside around Morrowind's largest river, but also the site of the border dispute between houses Hlalu and Indoril. Orethan Fields is the green, peaceful heartlands where you will find most of the Indoril lords. Sundered Scar is a hostile, dangerous wasteland of acidic pools, and these pools are inspired by actual Bethesda concepts which never made it into the final game. All 3 regions are very unique, and of course, at any point you can choose to wander beyond them. An important part of the expansion are the chapels. These are the homes of Indoril lords, built using new, custom-made Indoril architecture. Poison Song includes 3 major chapels, each of them complete with a full Indoril questline. There is the remade Roadir, which was already a fan favorite in its previous iteration, but I must say the new version is absolutely stunning. This is probably the closest chapel if you want to travel straight from Seydanin. The Chapel of Gorn is also close to Vardenfell, on the island halfway to the mainland. And the Chapel of Nanav is all the way south, close to Lake Andaram. The expansion adds a few towns, notably Othrenis in the Heartlands and Darvonis to the north. There are also many smaller settlements, temples, shacks, farms. Just make sure you also visit the city of Old Ebonheart, even if you've been there before, because Poison Song actually updates and finishes all the local guild quest lines. There are many dungeons to be found across the map. I want to highlight 2 important ones that you shouldn't miss. First, there is the overhauled ruined chapel of Tur Julan, inhabited by powerful Daedra. Secondly, there are the legendary Dwemer ruins of Camel Zay, a mega dungeon 18 years in the making. It goes without saying that all these locations are full of quests, both miscellaneous and faction-related. Besides House Indoril, there are also 2 new temple quest lines, and even more excitingly, there is another new joinable faction that I haven't mentioned yet, the Temple Ordinators.
Citizen.
For the first time, we can help enforce tribunal law and keep the Outlanders in line.
Heretics.
But keep in mind that this faction is intended for high-level characters and actually requires membership in House Indoril. With all of these new quests, the project has passed an exciting milestone. After Poison Song, the total amount of quests added by Tamriel Rebuild is over 1,000.
Will this take long?
That's it for the major features I wanted to highlight. Keep in mind that there is more to this expansion, but I want you to discover the rest for yourself. So instead, let me give you a deeper look at the lore and playstyle of House Indoril so you can perfectly plan your first character. What makes the Indoril so unique? Historically, they used to be highly respected as the rulers of Morrowind and the closest friends of the Tribunal Temple. They were once considered noble, pious, and charitable, but over the last few centuries, they have lost their power and with it their ideals. The lords keep bickering and fighting among themselves, even while threatened by the other houses. House Indoril is fractured, and it needs you to restore its glory. Poison Song includes just the first part of the overarching Indoril story, so don't expect to become the head of the house anytime soon. Instead, you'll be assisting the lords of the 3 Indoril chapels with their various tasks based on their problems and interests. For example, Roadir is close to Hlaalu borders, so Indoril Ilvi's main efforts are to repel foreign influences by secretly undermining them. In contrast, Indoril Baroth of the Nanav Chapel prefers dealing with her Hlaalu enemies more openly and aggressively. The isolated Chapel of Gorn is not involved in any border disputes, and Indoril Voris Sandil is more interested in Ashlander prophecies, including the prophecies of the Nerevarine. Of course, it's expected that you mix and match these quests to eventually complete all of them. Future expansions will add more content, but even now, the Indoril offer almost as many quests as the great houses in vanilla. While the Hlaalu, Redoran, and Telvanni are pretty closely aligned with either the stealth, combat, or magic skills, the Indoril are a bit of a hybrid. Their favorite attributes are strength and agility, and they fight with heavier weaponry as well as magic. This skill set is closely aligned with the Crusader class, so consider picking that for your first character. To join House Indoril, you need to visit one of their chapels. It doesn't matter which one you pick. You can either play the game as usual and wait for it to lead you there organically, or you can travel straight to Indoril lands. The easiest way there leads through Old Ebonheart. From there you can either fast travel or walk. So, how do you play this? First, let me start by saying that after updating Tamriel Rebuild, you really should start a new character. Sticking with one played on a previous version of the mod can lead to serious issues. Now, if you're watching this video right after it came out, the expansion isn't out yet, but it is coming soon. I recommend you keep an eye on it by checking out this year's Creation Mod Con. This is an annual online event where big Elder Scrolls mods show off their progress. Tamriel Rebuild and Project Tamriel will both be there, so make sure to tune in to see not just Poison Song, but also all the other future expansions coming to Morrowind and Skyrim. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Tamriel Rebuild for giving me early access to the update. I'm Civi Bless.